starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Cash Matlock. Dozens of people evacuated their homes last night in East Columbus because of floodwaters. Several areas throughout the Golden Triangle have experienced issues with flooding since Thursday's heavy rains. These are images from the Masonic subdivision in Columbus. As of this afternoon, Lowndes County road closings include Steens Road, Highway 12, LeGrone Road, Jemison Road, Sand Road, and Dickerson Road. Lowndes County EMA Director Cindy Lawrence says if you see a barrier in the road, do not move it.
In the Steens area, we've had several people who have gone around barricades, and we had to call the emergency crews to go out, the search and rescue to go out to help those people in the flooded area. This morning we had maybe 5 calls on flooded areas over in the area, and we did send emergency responders out to assist those people in getting them back to safety.
Well, since Thursday, Lowndes County has received up to 3.5 inches of rainfall. Well, floodwaters are also a concern in Clay County, where search teams have temporarily suspended their foot search for a missing man. David Box has been missing for 4 days now, and Sheriff Eddie Scott says the department has switched to alternative measures of searching due to flooding. Scott says the department will fly a drone around the area and interview people who last had contact with Box. With the possible lead, Scott says the department can determine Box's direction.
Well, he was reported missing to us yesterday morning sometime after 10 o'clock. During the investigations, we've discovered that he was last seen in the early morning hours of New Year's Day. So we're trying to establish a timeline of Mr. Box of New Year's Eve and into the early morning hours of New Year's Day.
If you have any additional information about David Box, please contact the Clay County Sheriff's Department.
Well, high pressure has started to move just a little closer to our area. That means we're dry right now, but it also means cooler air is starting to filter in. Let's take a look at some of these temperatures. We're down to 34 degrees just outside of Columbus, already down to 34 as well in Memphis. A little warmer than that up in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Also pretty cold all the way down in Jackson. Everybody already down into the 30s for the most part, and I think overnight tonight everybody will be getting close to that freezing mark, if not just below it. Good news is clear sky, no rain or cloud cover to talk about. Tomorrow, very similar story. Sunny skies all across the area. Really a picture-perfect day with temperatures getting close to the upper 50s to near 60. So get outside and enjoy the nice weather while it lasts, because I do have some storms in that forecast. I'll have those coming up in just a little bit.
All right, thanks, Trevor. Well, law enforcement is searching for 2 inmates who are missing from the Mississippi State Penitentiary at Parchman. WREG reports David May, 42 years old, and Dylan Williams, who's 27 years old, were discovered missing during an emergency count at 1:45 a.m. The state did not say whether they had escaped. The inmates may be traveling in a 2011 black GMC truck bearing Mississippi license plate numbers 1AE7344. The truck was stolen in close proximity of the prison. It's got a black pipe running boards on each side, and has a cotton tag displayed on the front bumper. The Mississippi Department of Corrections said May is serving life for 2 aggravated assault convictions in Harrison County, and Williams is serving 40 years for residential burglary and aggravated assault in Marshall County. MDOC, along with state and local law enforcement, are searching, are searching for the men. Anyone with information about May and Williams should contact MDOC at 662-745-6611 or the nearest law enforcement agency. Well, news broke yesterday of a 5th inmate death in the state. Sunflower County Coroner Heather Burton tells the Associated Press that 36-year-old Denoris Howell was stabbed to death early Friday morning at Mississippi State Penitentiary at Parchman. Howell is the 5th inmate to be killed by another inmate since Sunday, the 3rd at Parchman. Another inmate was stabbed in the incident Friday morning and taken to a Memphis hospital. In a recent public statement, Commissioner Policia Hall says the major disturbances were all gang-related. Hall also says, quote, "There's a lot of misinformation fanning the flames of fear in the community at large, especially on social media," end quote. Now, it's these rumors and misinformation that have friends and family members of those inside the facility worried. Olivia is a concerned parent of 2 Parchman inmates. She says her 2 sons have been in prison for almost 2 years now, and she hasn't seen them since they went in. Olivia says it's also been weeks since she's spoken with them on the phone.
But I called, no phone call. They put me on hold, wouldn't give me no information. I mean, they had money on the wall phone. They couldn't call me or anything. I don't know. Okay, been to the doctor, blood pressure, everything up. It just, I don't know. I'm just on the edge. I just want to know my baby's all right.
For the full statement released by MDOC, visit our website at WCBI.com. Well, Mississippi and 27 other states adopted Get Tough habitual offender laws in the 1980s to combat violent crime, often called three strikes laws, as in 3 strikes you're out. And the tougher sentencing statutes mean anyone with a criminal history, with previous felonies or even drunk driving offenses could be convicted of being a repetitive offender and face a prison sentence 3 to 4 times longer than they would otherwise. Today, our DeAndrea Turner talked to one man's family who says his sentence is unjust.
These are the only pictures that Paul Hauser's family has of him because of Paul's prior drug felonies in 1983. In 2007, he was labeled a habitual offender and sentenced to the maximum term, 60 years without the possibility of parole. He was convicted in possessing the items needed to make methamphetamine.
He's got 60 years, and he's a nonviolent crime. He got less charges than what murderers or rapists get, and he's never harmed nobody, robbed, stole from nobody. He was an addict.
Dusty Hauser has spent most of his adult life with his dad in prison. He says the grimness of his dad's sentence is unjust.
I mean, they're addicts. They're not murderers or rapists. I hate to put an emphasis on it, but the severity of the crime don't fit the severity of the punishment at all. For what crime he committed, 13 years, is that not sufficient enough?
Dusty worries about his dad's state of mind.
I've had him call me before, and he said, if they can't get the law changed, or they can't change things for me in here, I'd rather be see if they'll give me the death penalty. I'd rather take my chances with God than to live in this nightmare I live in right now.
He talked to his dad a day before the lockdowns around Mississippi began.
He said, just pray and make it out, because it's crazy in here right now, and just if I don't get to see y'all, y'all know I love y'all.
Dusty says he will continue to fight for justice, with hope as his anchor.
I know that he's a good man, he's got a good heart, and he's capable of being a productive member of society.
By the time of his release, Hauser will be 103 years old. When we come back, the latest on the recent airstrike in Iran. Stay with us.
You're watching WCBI News at 10 p.m. with Cash Matlock.
In national news, people took to the streets across the U.S. to hold anti-war protests following the drone attack that killed Iran's top general. Thousands turned out in Baghdad to mourn the death of Qasem Soleimani as his funeral procession began Saturday in Iraq. CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand has the latest from Washington.
Thousands of mourners gathered in Tehran Saturday, burning U.S. and Israeli flags, chanting anti-American slogans, and calling for revenge for the death of top Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. We say no more! Around the U.S., anti-war protesters rallied coast to coast. In Washington, D.C., actress Jane Fonda spoke out across from the White House.
The younger people here should know that all of the wars that have been fought since you've been born have been fought over oil.
President Trump ordered the drone strike Thursday that killed Soleimani at the Baghdad International Airport. The president says Iran's top intelligence and military strategist was plotting imminent and sinister attacks on American diplomats and military personnel.
Under my leadership, America's policy is unambiguous to terrorists who harm or intend to harm any American. We will find you. We will eliminate you.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says Soleimani was planning attacks that would kill a significant number of Americans, but declined to provide further details about the threat.
The decision that President Trump made to take Qasem Soleimani down saved American lives.
While a number of Republican lawmakers applaud the decision, many Democrats say Congress should have been alerted.
The operation against Soleimani in Iraq was conducted, however, without specific authorization and any advance notification or consultation with Congress.
On Saturday, additional reinforcement troops prepared for deployment from the Army's 82nd Airborne Division at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Today, the White House sent formal notification under the War Powers Act of the drone strike that killed Soleimani.
Well, as you saw at the beginning of the show, floodwaters continue to rise in many areas. Coming up next, I'll have the latest on those river stages and a look at your 7-day forecast. Stay with us.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
Really a picture-perfect day across the area on the Alpha Insurance camera network. This is a look at those time lapses from Columbus, Tupelo, Louisville, and Vernon. As you can see, really not a cloud in the sky. Plenty of blue sky. But if you look carefully, you can see the cameras wobbling back and forth a little bit. That's thanks to all those gusty winds we saw through the day, occasionally gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour. So even though we were in the 50s, it occasionally felt like the low 40s to upper 30s in some spots. And if you didn't feel the chill earlier, you're definitely going to feel it right now. We're down to 34 already in Columbus. We're at the freezing point in Aberdeen. Below that already, we're in the 20s up in Iuka, 31 in Houston, I should say, and a pair of 30s in Bruce and in Coffeyville. As a general rule tonight, I think here in Columbus, we're going to get down to 32. But as you can see, some folks already below that. So some people in those outlying areas could easily get into those upper 20s for a low. But generally clear skies and overall a calm and quiet night. Just what we need after all that rainfall. And a pretty nice day through the day tomorrow. We'll see plentiful sunshine, lots of blue sky, just like we saw today. Highs a little warmer, getting close to that 60-degree mark by the afternoon. Cooling down quickly, though, after sunset, down into the 40s by the evening hours. Now, even though the rain has come to an end, we're still keeping an eye on some flooding issues as all of that runoff continues to drain into the waterways. We've got a flood warning in effect for the Budahatchee River in Monroe County, the Luxapalila Creek here in Lowndes County, and the Noxubee River down in Macon. So with those warnings in effect, I wanted to take a look at what the current river stages are looking like. This is a look at the Luxapalila Creek. Looks like it crested earlier today at about 20 feet. That's about 5 feet higher than flood stage. Some indications are that this has already started to drop down significantly. We do have reports that that neighborhood over in East Columbus has already started to dry out just a little bit. But I do think for sure we dip down below flood stage by late tomorrow. Not really the case, though. Over in Noxubee County, we hit 32.5 feet, and really we're going to stay above flood stage through the week. The water just really not getting enough time to drain off. But I do think by the end of the week we will start to see those stages decrease. And same story over at the Budahatchee River in Aberdeen. The peak has occurred officially, but I do think we'll stay above flood stage through at least the middle of the week. Here's a look at those clouds and radar. High pressure in firm control, at least for the next few days. That means we don't see much in the way of rainfall, maybe 1/100 of an inch late Monday night. But really, our big weather maker this week is going to come in on Friday. We've got a cold front approaching. For sure, showers and storms on Friday. A little too early to pin down specific timing, but just plan for it all through the day. And there is some indication that some of that could sneak into the day on Saturday. A little up in the air on that, but we're going to go ahead and throw in a chance for some rain showers on Saturday, just to give you the heads up. That could change, but we'll, of course, let you know in the coming days when we finalize that forecast.
Now, I know that you said, floodwaters are kind of receding now,
Yep.
but even still, if you see barriers,
absolutely,
don't cross them.
No, turn around, don't drown is what we say.
I know Cindy Lawrence was telling us earlier today, they actually pulled out 5 people earlier today in Lowndes County. So
don't drive through it.
Kind of crazy. All right. Well, Mississippi State opens conference play against undefeated Auburn. Could the Bulldogs start SEC season 1-0? See the highlights next in sports.
Here's sports with Tom Ebel.
SEC basketball season officially arriving for men's basketball. Mississippi State tipping off conference play with one of its toughest tests of the year. The Bulldogs hosting one of 2 undefeated teams left in the country, the 12-0 Auburn Tigers. Be a fast 8 for the Bulldogs. Look at the block from Nick Weatherspoon climbing the ladder. Beautiful outlet from Abdul Adu to Tyson Carter. Misses the layup, but Robert Woodard right there to clean up the mess. 11-3 run makes it 17-9 Bulldogs, but the Tigers race back out in transition off the miss. Some great ball movement, going to find a wide open Isaac Okoro for a 2-hand flush. Auburn back in front. Clock ticking in the first. Bulldogs trying to take advantage off a miss in transition, but Auburn with the steal. They're coming right back the other way. It's going to end up in the hands of Samir Dowdy. Look at the floater with the contact, but no and one. But Auburn takes its largest lead of the game at 7. But right before the end of the first half, Nick Weatherspoon, the move. The floater off balance is good at the horn. Weatherspoon's crazy shot makes it a 5-point game at the break. Second half, check out Reggie Perry. A little bit of pressure. They don't pick up Perry. It's going to be the Harlem Globetrotters. Look at him split the double team. Nice dish to Robert Woodard for the dunk. That's the big fella, the facilitator. 2-point game in Starkville versus the number 8 team in the country. And here come the Bulldogs. Down by 10 here. Weatherspoon keeping the Bulldogs in it, chipping away through the land of the Giants. Tough layup goes. That's about as close as it would get. Auburn turns in a huge second half. Dowdy, the alley-oop, no good, but no one boxes out Dowdy. Takes advantage for the offensive rebound and the finish. Bulldogs fall 80-68. They'll look for SEC win number 1 against Alabama on Wednesday. Ole Miss on the road at Wichita State. Number 24 Shockers. Tough non-conference game before league play for the Rebels. Trailing here, Bree and Tyree, hand down, man down Shockers. They'll take all 3 of those. 11-9, Wichita State leads. 1-point game here. Great defense from Tyree, but Jamarius Burton, great offense, sometimes beats good defense. Look at a crazy shot off the window for the and one bucket. Gets Tyree to jump. That's about as close as Ole Miss would get in this entire game. Wichita State dominating. Nice feed from the post. That's Burton again for the two-hand, or Trey Wade on the dunk. Wichita wins 74-54. Rebels tip off SEC play Tuesday on the road at A&M. Some high school basketball tournaments from around the area. This is the Bruce Franks Memorial Invitational at Houston. Nettleton defeats Holga. In case you need help, B is boys, G is girls. Choctaw County defeats Okolona. North Panola defeats Okolona. Calhoun City tops North Panola. Calhoun City girls getting the win 63-36. Nettleton defeats Houston 47-38. Choctaw Central defeats Houston in overtime 96-93. And Itawamba HS defeats North Pontotoc 49-37. Then at the Tangle at the Trail in Pontotoc, girls, Belmont defeats Pine Grove. Ripley defeats Choctaw Central. Tupelo defeats Lafayette 60-55. Olive Branch defeats Pontotoc 58-43. Starkville boys get the win 67-43. Ripley over Pottscamp. Forest Hill defeats Tupelo in a close battle there. Ingomar races back from being down 21-9 after 1 to defeat Boonville 63-54. And Holly Springs defeating Pontotoc 54-50 in the nightcap. Playoffs football is finally here. Catch AFC wildcard action next in sports. Welcome back to WCBI. Playoff football here. AFC wildcard Titans and Patriots. Right off the bat, after a Patriots field goal, Ryan Tannehill and company answer. Nice pass to Anthony Ferkser for the touchdown. Titans up 7-3, but the Pats answer right away. Direct handoff to Julian Edelman for the touchdown. It's now 10-7 New England. 13-7 here after a field goal line stand from the Titans. Derrick Henry mode activated. Good luck getting that guy's way. Gets knocked out at the 1 with just over 30 to go, but give it to the big fella. Rumbles his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Titans take a 14-13 lead at the break. Score would say just that way for just the entire second half almost. 3rd and 6 for Brady and company. Incomplete pass. It'd be 4th down. Patriots would have to punt, but last chance for New England. Down 1. 15 seconds left. Brady passes bobble, picked off by Logan Ryan for the pick 6. Could that be the last throw you see from Tom Brady in a New England Patriots uniform? Possibly. Titans go on to win 20-13. A.J. Brown, Jeffrey Simmons officially 1-0 in the playoffs in their NFL careers. Titans will face the Ravens in the divisional round. Might be spoiler alert, but the playoffs continuing. Houston Texans taking on the Buffalo Bills. Bills will get on the board first. Check out some trickery. Josh Allen toss to John Brown, who finds Allen on the left side of the field, jumps into the end zone for the touchdown. Yeah, that's the way you start the playoffs. 7-0 Bills. They race out to a 16-0 lead. Here comes Comeback City, led by Deshaun Watson. Wills his way into the end zone from 20 yards out. 2-point conversion is good. It's now 16-8 after Texans field goal. 5-point game. Watson and company knocking on the door again. Nice pass to Carlos Hyde. Easy touchdown. Texans wipe the 16-point lead off the board. They take a 19-16 lead. Last chance for Josh Allen and company. Allen finds Cole Beasley, 9-yard catch. That's going to set up a possible game-tying field goal. 47 yards out for Stephen Hauschka. money. So this one's going to extra football, the first playoff game of the 2020 year. Believe it to the best player on the field, Deshaun Watson. Check out this play. Free runner somehow manages to get away with it, finds Tywan Jones in the flat. Jones is off to the races, catches the block there, 34 yards into the red zone. Look at this one more time. Two people had him in their hands. Not enough. Flex on him, Deshaun. Show them who's boss. Kayamini Fairbairn for the game-winning field goal, and the Texans advance to take on the Kansas City Chiefs in the postseason, or the NFL, the divisional round, 22-19. Hey, some bowl game football going on. Tulane taking on Southern Miss as part of the Armed Forces Bowl. Southern Miss off to a great start, 3rd and 17. Jack Abraham to Quez Watkins. Takes it 44 yards to the house for the touchdown. Missed point after, makes it 6-0 Southern Miss early on. Golden Eagles just getting started. Abraham, gonna have the keeper. Hey, why not? He's gonna waltz. A little bit of a wee there for the into the end zone for the touchdown. It's 13-0 Southern Miss. It feels like the game just started. But then Tulane would happen. Be a touchdown from Justin McMillan. Just in case you weren't aware, Amory native Will Hall, the offensive coordinator of Tulane, uncorks one 52 yards to Jalen McCleskey for the touchdown. Now a tie ball game. It's 13-13. And Tulane would go on to score 30 unanswered points. McMillan again to Amari Jones for the touchdown. Tulane gets the win 30-13. That's it for sports. A last look at your forecast coming up next.
Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow.